MVP Baseball 2005 is the best baseball video game. Now, some might argue with me that a game that's almost 20 years old is not the best, but it is. And I'm going to tell you why in this video. So, some of you may have heard of me when I did my MVP Baseball 2005 versus MLB 2K5 video. And today, this video is going to talk about why MVP Baseball 2005 is the best video game. Although it is sadly the last MLB video game by EA Sports, we'll talk about that later, it has the mechanics that are still used today in modern gaming. Like fielders making errors, constant battles against pitchers, even on a pro level that are a challenge, and even throwing in the players cold zone, which is basically show their hot and cold zones of where they hit the ball, where it's very good, very bad, that type of thing. But throwing in a cold zone, they still crush it, shows that players can be inconsistent at times. Kind of like real life in Major League Baseball, like the Texas Rangers sometimes. Even though they're World Series champions, I still have to deal with the struggle this season. Now, let's talk about the mechanics of the game. So, it's no surprise that there are some realistic swings and a miss, the pitching, even the fielding, and even the errors that you see. No surprise whatsoever. And it's still a thing in the games today. Oh, and also turning on umpire various calls, meaning that you could throw a strike, but the umpire could call it a ball. You have no idea how frustrating that is in real life and in the video game. And here's a clip from my perfect game video to show for it.
Straight out blue! That was a strike! Borderline strike! You gotta be kidding me!
Makes sense, don't you think? So, now with that out of the way, you guys know that it is very realistic. Oh, and let's not forget when you can charge the mound. Keep in mind, however, I do not have any videos of me charging the mound just yet. Maybe it'll happen soon, I don't know. Now, another thing I will point out, the manager arguing the call. Believe me when I say, that's super realistic in today's games. And I love it. I love some realism in the games. And also, it's really cool when you get to see that even the base umpires make bad calls or very close calls. Definitely keeping the human element very realistic in the game. So that's another good reason for MVP Baseball being the great game. And also, something to point out, as you play the game, you have to slide around. Sometimes you can barrel over the catcher and even learn to make the right slides to avoid tags. Sometimes you're not so lucky. Now that you know the mechanics, let's go into the next part. The minor leagues. Now, there is AAA, AA, and Rookie A in the game. And in the original games, starting with 04, they only had AAA and AA, so they had Rookie A in 05. So there's like 3 minor league baseball teams per MLB team. So that shows some realistic elements, including getting prospects and calling them up just to see if they can make the big league level, which is awesome. And also you get to see even, well, guys that you're probably familiar with from previous games. Now you know the minors part, let's talk about something that people really missed until recent days. Create your own stadium! Well, technically in this game, the only way you can create your own stadium is through owner's mode. And I have a few episodes of those, and I might need to go back to that so that way I could catch up a little bit and try to make my team the best team of all time. Make them World Series champs! I know, back then the Rangers have 0 World Series wins. They did win last year. And also, another thing, on owner's mode, you get to control the prices of anything you want. Tickets, memorabilia, paying for memorabilia, advertisement, and even, well, even having to work with players. That is frustrating. Even in Dynasty mode, one of the best franchise modes of all time. Okay, now with that out of the way, let's talk about something that would answer the question on why they're not making more of these games. EA specifically. Well, this is kind of obvious by this point, but when EA Sports signed a deal with the NFL to be the only developers of NFL video games for consoles, 2K got mad, did an MLB license with other parties, and X'd out EA. So yeah, that's why there's no more modern games. But I digress. MVP Beta 2005 is still the best. And I'm not going to forget this last part. Unlockables. You can unlock stadiums. Even those back in the early days, like the Washington Senators area. The first group, not the second team. And you get to unlock uniforms. At the time, the Washington Nationals were the new team that moved from Montreal, Canada to Washington, D.C. But you can still play as the 2004 Montreal Expos in their jerseys. Pretty dope. And also, the Milwaukee Brewers used to be known as Seattle Pilots. And bingo! There's even Seattle Pilots uniforms. That's really awesome. So something else you guys want to consider whenever you get the uniforms, there's 119 of them, use them. I mean, it's totally worth it. And lastly, legendary players, including Babe Ruth, Mickey Mantle, even Dennis Eckersley, the famous closer for the Athletics, even though he's the one that gave up that Kirk Gibson home run. Mufty Daisy! And even get to see other legends like Catfish Hunter, Nolan Ryan, Reggie Jackson. The list can go on! Now, not only if you unlock all the players, you unlock the MVP heroes and MVP legends in this game as well. But that'll pretty much explain the legends. Oh, and one more bonus. You get to play in the created stadium from Owner's Mode in Expedition games. So, the more you know. Now with that out of the way, you guys probably heard my case of NBA Baseball 2005 being good. And I will also add some of the elements from this game are being used in other games today. The minor league teams that you can play on, the legendary players, the uniforms. It has expanded. And I think MVP Base 2005 has been the massive catalyst for that. But sadly, due to greed and even business decisions, we're not going to see another game from EA Sports involving MLB baseball video games. But that's it for now. If you guys understand where I'm coming from and enjoy, like, share, and subscribe, and let me know in the comments below what else you like about the game. I'll see you next time. God bless. You rock. Don't forget it.